EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martich here with your outlook for February 4th, 2025. It is Tuesday. The Tuesday video forecast is proudly sponsored by Mark Damiani Painting Incorporated. Cold temperatures have been commonplace for a while now. Does this weather keep you indoors thinking about ways to update your home? Let them freshen up a few rooms in your home, and with new colors on the walls, they can also clean up those old-looking kitchen cabinets or turn them from the outdated natural wood to any color that you would like. They are family-owned and operated with over 40 years in business, so you can't go wrong with their exceptional attention to detail and great customer service. Service in the Southeast PA counties of Montgomery, Bucks, and Chester. Call them now to schedule a free estimate at the phone number above me here in the video, 484-571-9233, and mention EPAWA to get 15% off any job that is scheduled between now and March. They are Mark Damiani Painting Incorporated, proud sponsor of the Tuesday video forecast. So we have a kind of an in-between day today. We're talking about intervals of clouds and sun. There's a cold front moving through very early this morning, and that is going to press off to the southeast. We are going to have temperatures very slightly above average, but not by much. You look at the temperature spread above me, 38 to 48 is a temperature spread today. You look at tomorrow, though, on the opposite side of that cold front, 32 to 37, and we're going to become cloudy as our next system approaches. This is the one that is going to require some snow, ice, and sleet maps from us, probably for the first time today. We're looking at later today at having those maps out, but this is for a system that is coming in on Thursday night, okay? It might start in the evening a little bit in our far southwestern areas, but it looks like most areas will be overnight Wednesday night, and this will go into Thursday morning. If you have school-aged children, I would not expect that you're going to get through Thursday without having at least some delays, at least if you're in the interior. Might be some closings, in fact, because we have some icing concerns as the main driver for this particular system. This is going to start off as snow, then go over to sleet, and then over to freezing rain. The longer we can keep it snow and sleet, the better, because the most hazardous weather as far as wintry weather is concerned, of course, is freezing rain. That's the skating rink ice stuff. We don't need that stuff, but we can't really avoid it in this case. But we will start off with snow, go over to a period of sleet. Hopefully that's a prolonged period of sleet, because that's not as bad to drive on as freezing rain, and then it goes to freezing rain, which will end on Thursday morning. Some of you north of I-78 will remain entirely wintry for this entire event in some form, whether it's snow, sleet, or freezing rain. But area south of 78, we're looking at a changeover to rain right before it ends. This might hold on a little bit longer when you get closer to I-78, like up by, from Harrisburg over to the Lehigh Valley and into over to Newark, New Jersey. Those areas there and points north might be able to hold on to that a little bit longer, okay? And especially north, when you get up close to I-80, forget it. You're going to be frozen for this entire event. So this, we'll take a look at a couple different situations here. We'll look at the NAM 3-kilometer first. This is not in full range, so I'm going to show you as far as it goes. The NAM keeps wanting to put this this steady band here. This is ahead of the Barrett Clinic boundary, which is further south. But it keeps putting this persistent band across our southern areas of light snow. This will start actually late afternoon or early evening, and then that kind of dissipates and goes away, and then the main batch of precipitation will come through overnight. This is late evening, and for most areas further northeast after midnight when it comes in on Wednesday night. And I see it starts to snow in northeastern areas, and then we have a transition over to sleet, which is this pinkish colors in the middle. The purplish colors here is freezing rain, and of course green is rain. Okay, moving this forward, this goes as far as it goes here. This is looking at early in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning on Thursday. So the interior is entirely frozen in some form. Whether it's sleet or freezing rain, northwest of I-95, you're getting that at that point. So I would expect that there are going to be, at the very minimum, delays for school here on Thursday morning, and possibly closed entirely for a lot of these locations, because some of these areas are not going to just change over that quick. As we see here in the longer range NAM, this is a lower resolution, kind of Atari 2600 version of it, so that's why it looks like a little pixelated here, but it has the same thing. Starts off as snow, goes over to sleet, and then freezing rain. This goes all the way through the entirety of Thursday morning, and then ends here by early afternoon. Might have some leftover freezing drizzle or light, freezing rain showers up here across northeast PA continuing in the afternoon, according to NAM. But in terms of total precipitation, this is what we're looking at. In terms of snow, it's not much. Our northeastern areas get a little bit of that. The NAM is actually further south because it has that persistent band, not shown here on the European model. That's kind of sitting over here. That is missing in action here on the European model. If I do go over to the NAM here just to give you an idea of what it's showing for snow, this is what it has, and it does in fact have that band here and nothing really further northeast. So we'll have to watch that very closely here over the next day or so, because of course we're putting the first maps out today. I go back to the European model to show you where that is. It's just focusing on the northeastern areas, which is probably more likely, okay? So we'll focus on that. These are areas that can see that front-end snow, and this is the sleet that follows the next period. Sleet, of course, is a shallow area of warm air in the mid-levels that is allowing the snowflake to melt and then refreeze. It has time to refreeze before it hits the ground, so you get basically frozen raindrops. It bounces when it hits, right? And then freezing rain is the final part of this, and this is going to favor the interior locations for this freezing rain to occur. I-95, of course, runs up here like this, right? There's I-95. So it's going to be northwest of I-95. The closer to the Delaware River you get, I think it's going to be more like 1/10 of an inch. When you get out here in these areas, the central PA, especially the areas I'm circling right here, are generally close to 2/10 of an inch of freezing rain. It's going to be a little more prolonged there. These model maps that show these amounts that are 0.37, 0.44, 0.52, you can cut those numbers in half. You can cut them in half because, again, in reality, the model's assuming that, hey, it's 4 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, temperature's 27 degrees, and we know it's raining because there's a deep warm layer aloft that's producing rain to fall all the way to the surface, so it's all going to freeze. Well, that's not how it works. Some of it runs off, some gets absorbed by the ground, some drips off the trees and power lines, so not all of it accrues in this case. So the general rule is here, take this in half, and that's generally what we're going to see. So we think it's going to be closer to 1/10 of an inch on the eastern part of Pennsylvania. When you got here in central PA, upwards of 2/10 of an inch. And we're not getting 0.52 of freezing rain anyway. And the reason we know that is because the total precipitation for this event, if you pretended this was entirely rain, okay, you're just not going to have enough liquid moisture here to produce that much freezing rain. These numbers here are between 0.4 and 0.6, okay? 0.4 and 0.6 inches of liquid equivalent, all melted down. Some of that's going to be in the form of snow, some of that's going to be in the form of sleet, and then freezing rain, and in some places rain. So you're not getting catastrophic ice amounts in this case because there's just not enough precipitation for this. This will certainly help. The liquid version of this will help for the drought concerns that are currently in place, but I just don't see this being a catastrophic event. Any amount of ice is dangerous, so don't get me wrong, but it's not going to be to the point where we have widespread significant power outages all over the region because we have a 1/4 inch or more of ice. I don't see that occurring pretty much anywhere in this entire region. Okay, once we get past this system, the system moves away later Thursday. We remain cloudy in the afternoon. Temperatures are going to warm up a little bit. You're going to get above freezing, but after the precipitation starts for most areas, except far south, it does change to rain, south of 78. And then we remain mostly cloudy overnight. Friday is going to be a partly to mostly sunny day in between systems. And we have another system that's going to be very eerily similar to the one that we're having on Wednesday night into Thursday morning that's going to come in on Saturday afternoon. This is going to be starting off as snow, going over to sleet, going over to freezing rain, maybe even rain before it ends by late Saturday night, I think. It's not going to be lingering into Sunday morning. I think Sunday is going to be morning clouds giving way to sun, so if you have Super Bowl plans for that evening on Sunday, no issues whatsoever. Will be a little bit breezy on Sunday in the wake of that, but that's about it. But we have almost a carbon copy type system coming in here. Again, this is along the thermal gradient, which is a little bit too far north this week. Next week, it will be a little bit further south, and that's because of the blocking in Greenland that I talked about in the Weather Weekly's videos and in yesterday's video. We have blocking that's going to be established in Greenland that's going to start forcing this boundary a little bit further south. And what that does is bring the chance for snow as we get into the Tuesday, Wednesday timeframe. This is the 11th, 12th timeframe. This is right in the middle of our winter storm signal period that we outlined. There might be one after that as well, but we'll focus on just this one right now because this is very close to the 7-day forecast period that we forecast for in these videos, and this is getting into day 8, which is the following Tuesday. Today being Tuesday, this is the following Tuesday. So there is the opportunity here for a snow event because that boundary, that gradient boundary, thermal gradient boundary is further south, forced further south by the fact that we have blocking in Greenland. That's going to help this out a little bit. So it won't be as icy. Not to say you can't have ice with this. You certainly can. But at least the interior areas, northwest of I-95, could see a possible significant snowfall from this particular event. We're going to be watching this in the coming weeks as well, but right now, or in the coming week as well. But we have two systems that are going to be impactful in their own right, mostly with ice, a lot of big icing concerns Wednesday night and Thursday morning, and again on Saturday and Saturday night. I'm EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Marchus. That is your outlook for February 4th, 2025. Have a great Tuesday.